Okay, Jen, thanks so much for being with us today. I'd like you to identify yourself and tell me what organization you work for and what you do for them.
My name is Jennifer Zenor, and I work for the Wyoming Coalition Against Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault. I am the executive director. Love my job, love the organization. Overall, what the coalition does is we help provide training and technical assistance and a state level voice for all of the local domestic violence and sexual assault programs across Wyoming that provide the direct services to victims.
So it's an advocacy group. I mean, you advocate for. I mean, you in terms of the
Absolutely.
legislature. So what are some of the things that you've done through the years in terms of that?
Absolutely. So we have a number of different projects within the coalition. One that you referred to is with policy work. We have a full-time public policy director. The work that the coalition does, we really look at the macro, look at change through a macro lens. And policy is an excellent way to do that. We have a full-time policy director. She's in Cheyenne during our Wyoming sessions. We also are out in DC a couple times a year and in contact with our federal delegation. And again, we look at improving laws to not only help hold people accountable for crimes that are committed, but also laws that are going to help rehabilitate people and also help victims in their healing process.
So how do people get in touch with you, and how generally do they get in touch with you?
People can call us. We're here in the beautiful Civic Center in Laramie, and we have a phone number, 307-755-5481. We're also, of course, on the website, or the internet, and our website is www.wyomingdvsa.org. Two great places to connect with us. If you're in Laramie, come to the Civic Center, and we'll be happy to see you. Most of the work that we do at the coalition staff go out to do. And so we don't have a lot of foot traffic in our office because the people that we work with are outside of our office across the state with the different programs.
Okay, what sort of programs and events have you done through the years and certainly recently?
One event that we have annually is our Peace Awards, and the Peace Awards help to look at individuals in our state that are doing excellent work around advocacy and victim services. We have provided awards to legislators, to advocates across the state, to survivors of domestic violence, to parents who've had children murdered in domestic violence. We've had some very incredibly brave sexual assault survivors that have received awards. And we look at doing through a couple lenses, like what are the advocates that work so hard every day, hear trauma stories day in and day out from people that are experiencing them. What are we doing to recognize them and uphold them? What are we doing for other folks that are helping to make change around violence in our state, and really kind of hold that up and show that change is happening and change is possible, and we're getting there.
Can anybody get nominated for the Peace Award? How do you nominate the people for the Peace Awards?
Yes, you can. There's different categories in which you can nominate people, and go to our website and it'll explain the different categories. Anyone is able to nominate a person. You would just select which category you think best fits the person for the work that they do, or the person that they are, and submit a nomination form to us, and we will put that to the committee. And the committee decides on ultimately who receives the awards. Our Peace Awards are tied to our annual conference, which is held in November. It'll be November 14th, 15th, and 16th this year in Casper. And the Peace Awards will be an event that evening. And our conference is called the Wyoming Conference on Prevention and Response.
And can you give me a little bit of the history of this organization? How long has it been around, and how long have you been involved?
So the coalition was formally incorporated in 1987. However, like most grassroots nonprofit organizations, there had been a lot of work and organizing prior to the formal incorporation that had been happening around the state. A number of the domestic violence and sexual assault programs were already up and working, in the early 80s, late 70s. And they came together and eventually decided they wanted to form a coalition, went through the different steps you go through in forming an organization, and again, we became formally incorporated in 87. The coalition didn't have a full-time staff because they didn't receive funding until about 1994. And so we're a fairly young organization, and if you look at it in terms of, paid staff being with the organization. the first director of the coalition was Rosemary Bratton. She's still here in Laramie. She's an amazing person. Had the opportunity to work with her when I was a local program director in Gillette, and then at the coalition prior to becoming the director. And I've been with the coalition since 2003, and we are, we're continuing to grow. We have a vibrant and very active organization and an incredible membership with the programs across the state. We have 17 staff at this time, and some of which are here at the Civic Center, and others that work from home offices across the state. The majority of the coalition staff work here in Laramie. But it's been a great organization. There's been a lot of it was a lot of work to get the organization up and going in the early days. Just looking at the culture around the acceptance of culture, the acceptance of violence in our culture, in Wyoming and across the country. But it was important. I feel we've been supportive and a meaningful organization to not only the local programs across the state, but to many other state level entities. We're on a number of state committees. We provide that state level voice so that when decisions are being made in Cheyenne or at whatever type of state level it is, there's somebody there that's able to raise some valid points and information about what goes on with violence, what goes on with domestic violence and sexual assault, and help dismantle myths and really start to look at the root causes that cause violence.
The last thing I want to ask you is how people can become members, they can donate, and how they can volunteer. What are the ways to do that?
Absolutely. So we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and like many nonprofit organizations, we always look for donations and happily accept them. A couple different ways. You can go on our website, and there is a place to donate on the website. You can donate through PayPal. If you'd like, you can also send funds in if you would like. We try to, we want to make sure that people's contributions are meaningful to them and that they know that funds that they do give to us are going towards great work and are committed to that. If you're interested in becoming a member, we have 3 different types of membership. If you're an individual who is committed and want to make a difference and stay involved and be connected to resources, our individual membership would be perfect for you. You can go on our website again under our tab to get involved, and there's a membership form there for individual membership. If you work for an organization who also works on similar issues, so many of our issues, they're interconnected. People who experience domestic violence and sexual assault, there's poverty, there's oppression, there's racism, there's all sorts of things that are interconnected in the work that we do. Should you work for an organization that has, that works on something like that, you can become an allied member through an allied organization. Again, go to our website, and there's an application, talks about the benefits, talks about the philosophy of the coalition, and making sure that your organization and our organization share similar values is an important part in determining membership. And then we also have a program membership, and those memberships are for programs that are set up to provide direct services to victims across the state. And again, that membership has a form on the website and talks about the number of benefits that come along with that.
Okay, well, I hope people watching this video sign up. Thanks very much for sitting down with us today.
Yeah, thank you.